Want to time travel? Want to circumvent your destiny? Einstein said it was possible. All you need to do is to travel close to the speed of light and you can go forward into the future. If you can go faster than the speed of light, you can even come back from the future. Or if you find a wormhole, you can go from point to point in the time-space continuum. But let's be realistic, it's not going to happen. And besides, there's a much easier way to take control of our destiny by changing the way we think about time. Einstein thought about time in terms of light. It turns out that light is not just the light from a light bulb or the light from the sun. Light is actually everything that we perceive happening in reality, and the actual photons from the sun are just one partition of this general force that you could refer to as light. After all, we only perceive what is illuminated for us to see by light. So everything that we perceive is actually the actions of the light. It seems that different things are happening to me. My child is born. I got married. Someone died. I lost my job. I got a raise at work. I got a divorce. I got married again. It seems like all of these things are happening sort of randomly. But we know that everything in nature operates according to a plan. Every single baby that's developed in a womb develops organ by organ in the same order. Every stalk of wheat develops according to an order. All of the stalks of wheat taken together also develop according to an order. And then animals were developed, and then humans were developed, and history and all of human activity works according to an order, according to a plan, according to the plan of the light. And just like the sunlight develops the wheat and all of life, this general life force develops us. Just like once it developed single-cell organisms whose nature was to be single cells, it developed them to become multicellular organisms. How? Through pain. Similarly, humanity is going through a developmental process where we are being pushed together, squeezed together into tighter and tighter connections. And historically, this developed through different trade agreements and different changing of borders and different migrations. But all these changes happen to us not just unconsciously, but in a way that we feel like we are volitionally deciding something when really we are just realizing nature's plan. And we don't realize that we're under this type of order of development because it's happening to us and it's perceived in our emotions, so we can't be objective about it. This is called developing under the speed of light. Not even at the speed of light. At the speed of light would mean that I go along with the developments happily because I know where I'm headed and everything has a purpose because I know the plan and I'm just helping to realize it. But below the speed of light is how we develop, and that's why we feel pain. Now, if we want to develop above the speed of light and take control of our destiny, what would that mean? That would mean that faster than events can develop in my life, I already know what reality wants from me, and I start to realize that plan without it having to do those actions upon me. How do I do that? I have to learn the plan. I have to learn what nature is bringing me and everyone towards. And certainly it's bringing us towards connections. It's bringing us towards a change in how we relate to others. So what's all this have to do with time? If we know that nature is bringing us towards connection, and we work consciously on our connection, instead of being pushed to connection like single-cell organisms that are painfully pressed together in unpleasant ways through clashes of social, political, and economic types of processes, if we actually work on the changes that we were supposed to undergo, the internal changes that we were supposed to undergo by pain, then we don't need that pain. We could build simulators between us, say groups of 10 people, wherein we actually work on all of the discernments that were meant to eventually be embedded in all of us through the different political battles, social battles, even physical wars. We can go through all that painlessly and pleasantly in a way that is social, fun, and basically just like hanging out. And here's where you have to experiment for yourself. If you develop this circle, this group in which you actually work actively and with precision on your connection, you'll come out of these meetings to a world that favors you. Suddenly you don't need that parking ticket. You don't need that divorce. You don't need to be fired. To the extent that you actually actively work on your connection, you discover that all of the friction that you felt in life was just because you were tardy, you were late for the changes that you were supposed to go through. Again, because nature, the light of reality, works according to time. And we can go below the speed of light, meaning below the speed of the changes that we're supposed to go through, or we can go with the light and even transcend the speed of light. We can start to get feedback from reality such that we go into a connection circle and work on our relationships with others and try to be connected. And we come out and see how the world responds to us. And we start to see that in this circle, in this incubator of connection, we start to change reality.